So now as you see, here, move your hands. They cut open the mouth, so now all those muscles are loose and you can move the mouth up and down like so, like it's chewing. Now you can even see the teeth that were starting to form on the bottom part. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut into the top of the head with the scalpel and try to get through the cranium, which is the skull. So first we're going to cut the skin layer on top of it. Ishan's cutting the ears. So we're going to cut the skin layer on top so that we can see the skull when we are making the incision. Mr. Marco, can you pause the video so that we can do this? You guys don't want to see the tongue, okay?
And the skin is very hard, which makes it hard to cut through.
Okay, I'll cut it. So now we're exposing the cranium, which we will show you guys once we cut it. But the skin on top of the cranium is especially tough because, as we said, we need to protect the vital organs, and so does this pig. So can you just cut the rest of the skin off? Sorry guys that you can't see right now, but this is kind of important that we don't mess this up because we do want to try to get inside the skull so that we can pull out a brain for you guys. So, alright, I think we're good. Now I can make that with the scalpel and try to cut through that.
With the help of Mr. Marco, we have now uncovered the skull.
Alright, so I want to show them first. So as you guys can see here, this is the skull, or its actual scientific name, the cranium, which we're going to now try to cut through that into the brain.
And it was quite easy to cut through the skull because it hasn't fully developed yet. Developed.
I need to turn it. Now that we're in, we're just going to use the scissor to go through this bone because, as Ishan said, it isn't developed, so it's very easy to cut through. Once we get the brain out, we'll be able to show you guys, but right now it's kind of hard because we need to try not to cut ourselves with these scalpels and scissors. Recently, when dissecting the frog, and that was a fully grown frog, so the bones were much more developed, and I was trying to get into the cranium with a scissor like this one, and I missed and jabbed myself in the thumb. So that's why we're using a scalpel and are being very focused right now. So we see the brain, and we're going to try to show you guys once we remove the next piece of bone. And so, you guys ready to see a brain? There you go. There's the brain of the pig. You guys see it?
Look away if you're squeamish.
Where's his eyes?
His eyes are right there.
Wait, where are the eyes? It hasn't even been born.
You can see the brain now. We probably can't remove it unless I can try. William, can you get a close-up of the brain? There you go. There's a pig fetus brain. Once again, not fully developed, and some of the parts of it are, and you can't, I don't know the exact anatomy of a brain, but there are different lobes and stuff that control the different functions of this pig. So when I go back, I'm going to try to cut the brain out. So I got the pig here. And we're going to try to cut away the tissue around the brain that's holding it in. There's a lot of tissue surrounding the brain, so. Stop. Alright. Walk around.
Alright, we have the brain.
Show that to Mr. Doherty.
Here. It's probably getting close. The brain.
Like 2 weeks ago.
So have you guys ever seen a brain before?
Yeah.
Dasha, of course you have.
I've seen Dasha's brain.
Alright. That's cool.
Fish brain.
So right now I'm trying to cut out the eye. So, and of course this eye was controlled by the same brain that you just saw there. And
No, we didn't know that.
Yeah, it has a brain in the stomach.
It's 2 brains there. It's 2 brains.
hold on. Lindsay, what's your question?
Why is there already like stuff in the anus if it's a fetus and it hasn't been born yet?
Because it's been eating.
I can't eat. You can't poo in the uterus. Mr. Marco, I have a question.
So here I have the eye of the pig. If you don't want to see it, again, I'll come to you, but here's the eye. Cut that straight out of the pig's skull. Can you get the pig's skull out? I'm not going to take the entire bone. We already cut it. Here's the eye of the pig. And inside you can actually see how the eye works. So we're gonna start trying to wrap this up by getting the final organs out. And for you guys, I'm going to try and cut the nostrils and the rest of the snout off of the pig's head. And that will be our closing for the pig dissection. So here's the snout of the pig, and behind the 2 nostrils, you can see the holes that lead up to the pig's sinus and beyond, I guess, to the brain and down through the throat and out to the lungs, just the pig's nose. Nose of the pig. Alright, so we're going to end this dissection. Do you guys have any questions about the pig, either 7th grade science, future dissections? You guys have any questions?
Aaron, I have a question.
What's your question?
Why was there already stuff in the anus if it's a fetus and it hasn't eaten?
Because still, even though it is a fetus, the as I said before, through the umbilical cord and the uterus, it gets nutrients, and it still has to digest those nutrients. And as you saw, it has these intestines, the stomach, all the other organs needed for that, so it can still exist in the rectum. So, thank you guys, and
Hope you guys learned something.
yep.
Thank you.